can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
And now, broadcasting live from deep within the borders of occupied liberal territory known as California, Luca Zanna with Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All systems go.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us. You cross the line. Soon you will pay for all your crimes. After long.
Hi everybody, this is Luca Zanna and you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM. I'm gonna spare you today my intro, okay? I think already you know that I'm an Italian by birth, as you can hear it, an American by choice. So you already know this. The point why we are here, why I'm here, because I really believe that every one of us can make a difference. Sometimes you can make a difference in your family, or you can make a difference in your neighborhood, or maybe now I have a chance to make a difference in a bigger audience. So we want to communicate. The purpose of this show, it is not to entertain, but to share informations and start to make us think. And more important, I would like to unite, because we are being divided. We have been divided by design. They try to put us against each other. You know, they want to name you if you believe in something. They want, let's say you believe in less government or less taxation, you are right wing. If you believe in bigger government or more, I don't know, something, they think you are left wing. I think it's a distraction. I think it's wrong. We're supposed to be Americans, and all of us, we should have some inalienable rights. And among that, let's start one thing we have all in common. We're supposed to be free human beings. If we agree on that, and if we agree about the Bill of Rights, I think we have a lot of things in common. And even if we speak with different accents like I do, we speak one language that unites us, English, I think we have a country. And as a country, we can improve, we can learn from each other, and we can respect each other. That's my purpose. So as much, you know, I consider myself a freedom-loving person. I believe in individual rights. I do not believe in collectivism. I believe that the right of the individual should never be suppressed by the mob or the majority, because we are not a democracy, we are a republic. Today's show is going to be a little different. I would like today, for example, first of all, talk about callers. People want to call. You know, the last few shows, we've been always busy with special guests, and time for callers always been pretty much difficult because we wanted to give as much time as possible in 1 hour for our guests. Today, I would like to get your calls. Remember, we do not have any screen here, so everybody, first come, first serve. You call, just be polite. Don't forget we are on the air. You can be also rude if you want. The only thing, do not use, please, offensive language that FCC would censor, okay? So, and the topic today I would like to launch is your line in the sand. Every one of us start to understand, I hope, that we are living in very interesting times. It's like history repeating itself. Governments, they were created by people to serve people. And unfortunately, we realize that in the history of humanity, governments, they've been one of the biggest oppressor of freedom and also murderers. I mean, let's not forget, governments under Germany, it was a legal government. How many millions of innocents died? Governments like, you know, we have in Italy, during Mussolini, in China, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, in Russia, Stalin, Lenin. I mean, think about it. Unfortunately, government is being proven is one of the biggest mass murdering organization. Okay, and I'm not saying all the government is bad. There are a lot of great people out there, but unfortunately, when the government goes out of control, bad things happen to good people. That's the reality. So today, I would like to start to think. You know, every one of us should think about line in the sand. When is your line in the sand? When you're going to say no, that's enough. When you're going to say, okay, that's a point that I'm not going to tolerate anymore. I want to give you some of my line in the sense. Everyone is different. Everyone has a different type of mindset, and then we don't need to be all the same. But I believe that as a dignity, as a free human being, there are few things that I would never comply, even if they make it as a law. Let's say tomorrow the government, let's start, they say, okay, mandatory, like happened in England, like happened in Australia and many other countries, you must turn in your gun. You have like 7 days. Or even you must register your gun. I'm sorry, that's my line in the sand. I know that, unfortunately, when that law is going to pass, I'm going to be labeled a criminal. And I say this in front of God, in front of you listeners, because we must not be fear. The moment that we have fear, we already lost. I don't want to hear things like, okay, I'm going to get my guns and put them on the ground. What is the purpose? You're already lost. First of all, morally, you pretty much admitting that you are in the wrong. And then what is really going to be good to you, a gun under 6 feet of dirt? So this is my most important thing to start, because this is not just drama I'm trying to put out. I think it's real. I think things are going around in a way towards the direction in this country too, that we may face one day scenarios like that. So I would like to start to think about mindset, how to prepare ourselves to different line in the sense, and more important, how we can prepare as a community to get together and hopefully avoid that we get to that point. Number one, that would be the most beautiful thing, avoid any type of violence and be controlling our government in the right way with the due process, being active today politically so we can avoid things that could go out of control. And then if as a last resort, as a final defense of our freedom in this republic, how we could eventually organize as free Americans. So this is pretty much the topic of the show. So I would like to remind things that are going to happen or may happen. We have already a situation we know with the Second Amendment is completely under attack. Didn't happen just with Obama, okay, please. Obama, of course, is the final closer, as I said. Things happened way before. It's been a process, at least the last 80 years. But now we're going to a point, especially with the Small Arms Treaty, they're trying to pass. They already signed it. They're trying to implement it and trying to show it in front of the Supreme Court to make a case that the international treaty, they can trample the United States Constitution. This is not a conspiracy. This is go out, check it out. Let's not forget that we are pretty much right now surrounded by foreign troops. The fact that FEMA has an official agreement with Russia to intervene in case of emergency on U.S. soil, it should make you think a little bit. The fact that for the first time in history, we have Chinese troops in Hawaii training for emergency should make you think. The fact that we have a person sitting in the White House, I don't even call him president, sorry about that, is a person, I respect that, but is not exactly what you call a person that is doing the interest of the American people. If I would somehow just judge him by his actions, and without being political, because I'm not even a defender of the other side, I must tell you this person is exactly what you call a Trojan horse, Mr. Barack Obama. And the plan is to destroy. Let's not forget the background. I'm not trying to judge the person by his own words, but we should judge the tree by his own fruit. So that's the point. We have a very scary situation. Let's not forget the executive orders that already been piled out the last 40, 50 years, and especially the last 5, 6 years. The federal government, or even better, the executive, with the president, can take over every pretty much private sector about private transportation, private property, food, water, communication. All they need is an emergency. Let's not forget what happened in Katrina. Yes, that happened under Bush, okay? And that was, for me, in my opinion, it was a dry run. They wanted to see pretty much if law-abiding citizens were going to comply unlawful and unconstitutional gun confiscation. There were law-abiding citizens safe in their homes, and just because there was the state of emergency, there were different type of troops. Some they were National Guards, Some they were also mercenaries. We know for sure that they were also used some special mercenary groups at the time to start this gun confiscation. The sad news was that unfortunately it worked. Many Americans surrendered their weapons without even questioning, without even fighting back. And I am against violence, don't get me wrong, but there is a point that unfortunately if you comply with evil, more evil is going to pile up down the river. That's my opinion. So anyway, what is your line in the sand? I said my first line in the sand would be, no, I'm never going to surrender my guns or just register the guns, especially in the state of Arizona where we have our state, we made it clear that gun registration, they are unlawful. Second line in the sand I would like to talk. First of all, what if tomorrow the government says you are on your own property, we live in rural America here, rural Arizona, they want to start to put meters in your wells. You know, many of us, we have wells, okay? Yes. We drill the hole in the ground and we drink water. It's very beautiful. That's why we should be, free human beings. This is the land where supposedly it's mine and I paid for, and I want to drink my water. We already know that pretty much we must ask for a permit technically to the state to drill a hole, and that's already, in my opinion, wrong. But before we go there, let's say that we pass that stage. Second stage, it's already happening, by the way, in other states. You going to face a fine or even jail if you do not comply with the meter for your well. I would not comply to that. I'm telling you right now. And let me tell you something. I'm a regular guy, okay? I'm a very mild person. I believe in peace. I'm not violent. But I also know that there is a line that I'm not going to comply. First of all, as a dignity, as a human being, because the moment that I pretty much get the government, give the government the power to charge me by the gallon out of my water that I own on my land, I feel myself less than a slave. So I wouldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But the point is, how can we stop? How can we try to avoid the confrontation? Because I'm trying to think that there is a better way. We don't want to be isolated as crazy individuals that they're going to paint us on the front pages of the papers. Oh, the right-wing crazy guy, he didn't want to comply with the government, and maybe they didn't even tell you why. They just, it was a standoff. We need to avoid that. We need to, first of all, in my opinion, educate our neighbors, our friends, our family. Because when we understand the concept of freedom, we understand the concept of property rights and individual rights, we can stand together in the public opinion, and we can avoid that we even get to the point that some crazy legislator may even pass things like that, okay? And then, of course, there is a second stage. What happens if they really go there? For example, I'll give you another line in the sand. Let's say tomorrow, like in New York, they just did, I think last week, they start to make mandatory flu shots. I'm not even judging if you take your flu shots or not. It's none of my business. If you believe that a flu shot is good for you, enjoy it. Get 2, get 3, get also mine, because I'm not going to get it. I'm not even going to give you medical advices because I am not a doctor. But I'll tell you something. There is enough information out there if you go look exactly what happens when you take a flu shot, what type of extra elements you find there, chemical additives, and what is also the ratio now that we have with the new young generation of kids that they taking these flu shots or different vaccines, what type of diseases, what type of problems we're having, you will be surprised. So all I can say, in my personal opinion, no, I will refuse ever to take any type of forced vaccination or flu shot by the government, especially because if everybody else, let's say, is taking it, well, they should be safe. I'm the one that's supposed to be somehow dying, okay? So leave me alone. And why I say that, how I would refuse? First of all, it's called no compliance. I believe in civil disobedience. I believe in peaceful disobedience. You don't need to be violent. But there is also a line, it's called the line in the sand, why at this point we should be able to say, okay, I give you the warning. When you cross the line, I have nothing more to lose. And we all very know well that, unfortunately the odds may be against the individual. But at the end, if every individual, or at least enough individuals, would be enough I don't want to use the word proud because it's not in the right sense, but enough strong to stand for the principle of freedom and their dignity as a human beings, guess what? They would stop soon. Think about what happened in the past if, let's say, even just 10% of the Jewish population during World War II, they were given a rifle and 20 rounds. Even just a bolt-action machine gun and 20 rounds. Guess what? Yeah, they may be taking some of them still into the camps, but guess what? When you have out of 7 million or 6 million Jewish people that went to the camps, let's say 5 or 10% would fight back, the war would be over without even having a war. So that's why sometimes we need to think. And, I like life. I enjoy life. As I said, I'm a non-violent person, but I also love freedom more than my life because I believe my dignity as a human being is more important than my life. So this is the theme of the show. And just to be more going deeper into this theme, I would like to play with you right now a song. It's called The Line in the Sand that, by the way, I also wrote. And you can find all my songs at my website, www.zanna.us. And that's another way to support the show, to support myself, because this is a free market show. We don't force you like the government does. We ask you, and we hope you can help us. You can support K-Talks, of course, 1340. And also you can support me, myself, Gianluca Zanna. That's the way I make my living, at least one of the ways. And it's called I Write Songs. So right now we have The Line on the Sand.
If you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude than the animated contest of freedom, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsels or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains sit lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen. The line in the sand, you know the time is coming. Line in the sand, are you going to watch while we're fighting? The line in the sand, just tell me now where you're going to stand. How much more you're gonna take it? How much more you're gonna fake it? Now you decide what you'll do when they come. They'll come for you. Seconds before midnight.
All right. That was The Line in the Sand, music and lyrics by Gianluca Zanna, myself. As I said, if you want to support me, I appreciate it. Just 99 cents. You go to zanna.us, and you know what? All helps. So, talking about this, maybe somebody that just, if you're just tuning in right now and say, what is he talking about, this guy, line in the sand? I mean, not surrendering his guns and be afraid to be a terrorist. Let me remind you guys, maybe for the people that they're a little new to this type of tyranny that we are facing, maybe you still didn't connect all the dots. There are official documents out there from the federal and local state government, but mostly federal, they pretty much can make every one of us a domestic terrorist. This is a fact. It's not a conspiracy. I will also put a link to all the 72 signs that you can be a domestic terrorist on my website, lovegunsfreedom.com. So you can find every point. Now I'm going to announce. You will see this link directly to an official government paper or some sort of official document that pretty much that's what it says. For example, we have 72 points that we found that Americans can be considered to be extremists and potential terrorists in the official U.S. government documents. Now, number one, the first point they say is those that talk about individual liberties. I mean, that's pretty much all I talk about here. I mean, I start my show with that. So just talking about individual liberties is labeled by different federal agencies like the FBI like a potential sign of domestic terrorist. I think most of us, we would like to talk about individual liberties, but it's okay. Maybe let's say you're a collectivist, you think you're spared. Let's see. Number two, those that advocate for states' rights. Yes, we are these United States of America, so I believe that it's not even wrong to talk about anything, first of all. It's my First Amendment. To talk about states' rights, especially in these United States of America, the way we supposed to be, I think it's normal, because this country was founded by states, independent states. So, number two. Number three, those that want to make the world a better place. This is not kidding. I mean, guys, seriously. I mean, Google these 72 signs you can be a domestic terrorist, and you will find every point I'm making here. It's linked to a federal or state government official document. So this is serious. They are not kidding here. Point number four. Whoever says that the colonists who sought to free themselves from British rule. I mean, I'm just talking about history. If you talk too much about being independent from England, yeah, probably they think you're a domestic terrorist. Point number five, those that are interested in defeating the communists. Guess what? Can you believe that? I mean, not even 50 years ago, I remember still now, technically, when you are on the airplane and you are coming close to the customs, you have to fill up an application. Let's see, somebody's calling. Let's see if we can get this person today. Okay. All right. Okay. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you on the air? Okay, there was just something didn't work out. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's your name?
Ed,
Hi, nice to meet you, Ed. Where are you calling from?
South Dakota.
Oh my God, that's exciting. How did you find out about this show?
Oh, they were putting your songs out across the net, and then I went to your site, and then I found out about K-Tox.
That's
And then I hooked up with a bunch of people in Arizona, and they said they love you to death.
Oh my God, hopefully nobody dies though. So listen, what do you think about the topic I'm talking today, the line in the sand?
The line's already been drawn. They don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people claim to be Tea Party, but watch the ones that are big incorporated, they get way out of hand and sit there and say they represent us when they don't. But the Tea Party is individuals, people. It was never meant to be a party.
I agree.
It's a mindset.
I agree.
It's a mindset. And it's all the things you're saying, so I don't want to sound senile and repeat you.
No, it's true. You're right.
Okay.
You're right, because the point, every organization can be infiltrated, taken over, and whoever controls the head control the rest of the group, like in the party. Instead, if we're individuals of spontaneous grassroots cells as a free Americans, it's going to be more difficult to control us. Don't you agree?
Right. Yeah, just like they have that Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
It has no head. It's individual groups that just go with the mindset.
Okay.
Do the program. So it never can fall.
I agree. What is your line in the sand? What is your first? Give me 3 lines in the sand that you would never allow. 3.
Oh, I've already done it. I've resisted illegal search.
Okay,
I got beat simple by the cops.
great.
Got arrested for resisting arrest. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Aggravated assault.
Oh my God.
It was 3 ag assaults, 3 simple assaults, and 3 counts of resisting arrest, but no charge.
Mm.
They wanted to see my driver's license. I said, "What was your reason for pulling me over?"
Yeah.
He had no reason. He just felt like it.
Wow. Interesting.
Okay, and I said no. And anyway, they tried to pull me out of the car and all that stuff. Well, this was a few years ago. I was fresh out of airborne.
Mm.
First 3 went down for the count,
Oh my gosh.
but they kept coming.
Wow.
They kept coming.
So you're a returning veteran, right?
Say again?
Are you a veteran?
Yeah.
Yes. So you're really on the list. You know very well that Homeland Security put out under. It was before even Napolitano. It was also under Bush. Returning veterans, well, they are probably on top of the list of potential domestic terrorists. You know why. I mean, I don't need to remind you. You are probably the biggest danger to tyranny, because when people like you, they already pretty much saw death and sacrifice, and they, believe in Constitution, they believe in the Republic, they come back. And they come back here, and you see exactly that all the things that you're supposed to fight, the enemies and the tyranny, all the stuff they tell you to fight around the world, it's here. Well, I would be very afraid if I was an unconstitutional, unlawful, and more important, tyrannical government to have you around, and maybe another 20 millions like you. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, it took me all the way to threatening to go to the Supreme Court, or the appellate, to get the judge. But in the end, he said it was an illegal arrest, and I had every right to resist.
Wow, that's amazing. So this has happened exactly when and where in your state?
It happened in about 86 in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Wow. So you really made case. It would be nice to see if you can eventually send me information by email about your case, because we are so trained. And I tell you, this is something that every one of us, of course, should follow their instinct. You were very brave, but also very almost risking your life, literally. You're somehow a miracle that you didn't die that day, or you didn't spend the rest of your life in jail, because you fought for what you knew were your rights, and you were able to come to the end and win. And it would be nice to remind to people that we don't, not just because somebody has a uniform always is on the right, or we must follow every orders they tell us. Even Nazi, they had uniform when they tell jump in the back of the truck and go to the camps. And not because they have a uniform, they think you must always follow their orders. Don't you agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree with it.
Did you ever heard about this organization called the Oath Keepers?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because I am not a former military guy like you are. I'm a regular civilian, but since I took an oath myself as a naturalized American when I became an American in 2005, and I believe myself that I have a duty as an oath keeper to defend this republic, even with my life if necessary. Even I'm just a regular guy, I'm not a person with your background, but I believe that all of us should be oath keepers, but especially people, of course, that already took the oath, like you did, Can you tell me a little bit about your background? How long you've been in the service?
I'm out now. I've been out. I was only in a couple years.
Okay. And that was a few years ago, of course, right?
Yeah, it was back in 75.
And now what's going on in your state, in your area where you live? What type of signs of tyranny you see, besides what we hear in the news about the federal intrusion, the destruction of the Constitution, and we all know these things, but anything that you see like at a local level? For example, where exactly you live, in which part of the state? County?
I live in Hutchinson County.
Okay.
And I would say tyranny is almost non-existent here, because the police here are not. You can ride by talking on your cell phone with your seatbelt off, and the cops are not allowed to pull you over. You can even wave hi when you do that.
Okay.
You have to break a law to get pulled over.
I understand, like in Arizona, the same, in theory, yeah.
Okay. And the only sign of tyranny that I could say is the state senate, and the up there is a bunch of sneaks.
Okay.
They'll sit there half the people in the state think we have the same rule as Arizona does, where we don't need a permit if we're a resident.
Mm-hmm.
Seal permit.
Yes.
The law was passed. It went all through the motions. It got to the Senate, and they passed it and referred it to the 138th session.
Wow.
Well, there's only 137 sessions.
Mm.
So what it got done was it got thrown out in the wind.
That's sad because, you know, that's so beautiful. The constitutional carry, as we call it here, it's like for me, if I have to find just one reason to leave and to move to this state would be that, you know, the sense of freedom we have as our really God-given right, you know, without permit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't believe you should have to have a permit.
I agree. I agree.
When I was, now I'm 54, but when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
the permit thing was for people that wanted to conceal. Open carry was never even questioned.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because it was a sign of ill will or unhonorable intentions to conceal if you carried.
Yes.
You always made sure, even if you like had your shirt over it or something, you always made sure it was basically visible that you had a weapon.
I understand.
And the conceal thing started like that, and somehow it got turned around, and it's some kind of. In some of these states, these people, they got to go through fingerprints.
I know.
Go through this, go through that, go to a class. Here, we're a shall issue. You go down, you give you $10, unless the sheriff's got a reason to deny you, you got your permit in your hand when you're walking out.
Yeah. Just to let you know, in Arizona now we have the last few years, it's called constitutional carry. Not only we can open carry like we always been doing, we also can conceal without any type of permit. I think there are only two states, this state, Arizona, and Vermont, and some part of Alaska, I guess. But for me, that's, you know, it's really this one of the few places in the world. You know, I've been looking around everywhere in the world where I could do what I can do here in Arizona. I don't find it, seriously. So I think we need to treasure, hopefully, we need to help other states to spread this message of freedom. At least talking about guns, you know, I mean, the show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. I believe love is the first weapon. You know, we love our country, we love our freedom, but also we need tools. And I believe for me, rifle is just an extension of my will to be free. What is your rifle of choice?
Me, 30.
Okay, that's your choice. Good, interesting. And the way you were in the service, what was your rifle? M16 or what did you have?
Oh, yeah, M16A1 is what they gave me.
Okay.
But I don't care. I've shot that so many times and carried that so much. I don't want to see another one.
Lisa, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much. Please keep listening. And if you have anything to send me, you got my email. I'll tell you to you right now. Zanna, like my last name, ZANNA @zanna.us. So be in touch with me. Also, I'm on Facebook. If you can send me a message or we can become friends, I'd like to be in touch with you. Okay?
No problem.
Thank you, man.
You.
Thank you. Oh, that was great. I mean, let's see if I can turn it off. Okay. I mean, from, up way there, out of far away, South Dakota. Amazing. So, guys, this is the point. You know, we need to start to visualize today what are our lines in the sand. This guy, he was brave and he had balls. He also knows, I think he knew the law, because you must know the law before you do something so serious like refuse, a search. And I agree. If you know that the search is unlawful, the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, the Bill of Rights is on your side. We are the lawful guys. Let's see what's calling. Let's see. Okay, on air. Anybody there?
Yes.
Who is there?
Yeah, this is Freebie calling in.
How you doing, man? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm out in the Tulies outside of Kingman.
Okay, excellent. How did you find about my show here?
Oh, I've been trolling you on Facebook and TikTok for a long time.
Okay, I'm glad. Thank you for your support and for listening. What is your line in the sand? Or what are your three lines in the sand?
There's so many of them. I just wonder what you found out about the chemtrail deal.
Chemtrail, we can talk about that, of course. First of all, it's a fact. It's called, geoengineering, and there are enough documents out there from different sources, government and also non-government, but like NGO organization. This is according to my research. It is not something that's just happening in Moave County, like some people think, that we're just a bunch of conspiracy that we try to destroy the real estate value. That's the problem of many local people, that they're afraid to speak up because they think they're going to have a mark on the area. This is happening everywhere, all over the world. Today, I was just talking with a gentleman from Norway. He called me on my cell phone, and they're spraying like crazy. And people are coming out with blood tests, with pretty much terrible numbers about levels about barium and other heavy metals. What I found out, and I tell you my research in few words, this sort of experimentation, we're going to call it like that, they control the weather. That's what pretty much geoengineering, they do it. This has been happening at least the last 20 years. The last 10 years, they've been really cranking it up. Now, I don't know the reason. Nobody really know for sure why they're doing it. But we know that they're doing something that is not normal. It is not healthy. It is not safe. And when people understand that the government, not just the U.S., but every government, but talking about our U.S. government, they've been experimenting on us the last 100 years. Officially declassified information, they've been experimenting many times without the consent and the will of us. We should start to think that everything is possible. Now, what we know that they are somehow stopping influencing the sun to reach the earth, because they spray substances that pretty much create like a barrier. Now, officially, they're trying to say that this is part to control global warming. That we know, by the way, it's a fraud. They try to pretty much, according also to the same document from the United Nations, they've been caught lying, and their purpose is to global tax on carbon tax. So it means that we are slave. Every time we breathe, we need to pay a tax. That's pretty much the final goal. But regardless, the chemtrails, in my opinion, it is a process that has to do with, first of all, controlling the resources, like the water. Who controls the weather? Control food and water. That means you can create areas that they're going to be without water. Let's not forget now, water is becoming a commodity, according to the CEO of Nestle, and they are privatizing most of the water in this country, selling it out to China. And we're going to be like the cattle, that we need to look for water, and we need to line up in front of our masters to go to drink our little daily dose. What do you know about chemtrails? What do you think?
The control of the food supply.
Yes.
It's like my wife and I, we try to grow organic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're rural, so, we're in a location where we can make our raised bed gardens and everything.
Yes.
But we're still, no matter how much you try to be careful how you're growing, you've got chemtrails coming overhead.
Mm-hmm.
And, you do the best you can to try to shield, but
yeah,
still your food's being exposed.
Yeah, and there is a document, official document, for the people that do not believe in this. Monsanto, a couple of years ago, patented a specific seed that it is aluminum resistant. Why you think a seed should be aluminum resistant? I mean, that make you think, Now all the new hybrids, they are aluminum resistant. And a few years ago, I did an experiment myself. I have a greenhouse. I grow most of my vegetables, like you do. And I was trying to grow zucchinis, okay? Heirloom organic zucchinis. There was the flower, but there was no any type of fruit. I just by accident, I had the same, at the time I was trying to do experiment also with some hybrids, and I was not really that informed yet, but I was trying to verify it with the things that I was learning. Same dirt, same area, same water, and this hybrid, they were flourishing and they were giving the biggest zucchini. So I don't have enough scientific data to say, okay, I know for sure, but the data that I have, I know that my regular organic zucchini couldn't grow. At the same time, the hybrid zucchini, they were doing fine. And they were all aluminum, probably resistant seeds, So I'm not surprised, So tell me something. Let's say tomorrow they come for your garden, okay? Let's say if you want to have a garden, you must have a federal license. By the way, there's already a law out there. If you want to sell commercially your produce, technically there is a federal law that passed a few years ago about it. Would you comply with that?
I would not comply with that.
Good, because I'm with you then. I'm with you, and I say something. We need to start to find each other, because, it's good that every one of us take our own personal stand, because our dignity as free human beings must become no part of the, majority. I don't care if I'm by myself. I'm not going to comply. But when we find each other and when we educate the rest of our neighbors, guess what? I think they're going to have a surprise if they ever try to do that type of crap on us. Don't you think?
I agree, Luca. Listen, I don't want to hog all the airtime here, so I'll let somebody else call in. But
Hey, thank you.
I wish you had at least one more hour for your program, because 1 hour, I just don't think is enough for you to cover all your material.
Let me give you good news. Starting from January, not the 5th. The 5th we have the last 1 hour show. Starting from the weekend after the 5th of January, we'll have the radio station gave me 2 hours. And also we will have a change of time. It's going to be in the morning from since 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock. So we have 2 hours starting from the weekend after the 5th of January. So that's exciting.
All right. That sounds great.
Yeah, and we will talk, the first hour we'll talk about rights like normally we do and different ideas and try to get more in education. The second is going to be about preparation. Preparation for our neighbors, training, guns, ideas, whoever knows most, call and we share information, how to prepare in communications, what type of guns to buy, how to train, where to go, how to help each other, okay? Are you on Facebook?
All right, thank you, brother. You hang in there, and
Yeah.
the next time you get them politicos on your show, give them a little bit more heat.
I will. You know what? The point is, whenever I bring people here, my first goal is to have things that we get in common, okay? Then I will try to share seeds, put them seeds of ideas that, maybe we don't agree yet. And then I would like to bring them back and focus on the things that we maybe not agree. But first thing, everybody I brought here so far, they have something that generally I believe they've done good. We don't agree on everything. There are a lot of things that we may still try to help each other in education. My goal is when I see somebody that in good faith is just ignorance, we can fix ignorance, we can teach each other. When somebody is a scumbag and is a traitor and is a liar, like I have a few of them, don't forget about, if you can see on my blog, look some of the letters I wrote, for example, to Congressman Trent Franks, how I call him, what I said to him in many occasions, coming from a Republican, when you say the truth about some other of your party, you're supposed only to shut up. I never shut up. Go to see what I said, for example, to Representative Doris Goodale about her treasonous stand on sell out to Obamacare or to, like, for example, this car and some other issue, I'm very vocal. At the same time, when I have somebody that is trying to do the best thing, I try to focus on the good, and then we try to help him to learn from each other. And of course, nobody needs to agree always on everything, but you trust me, we will get some interesting conversation with politicians that I don't agree, okay?
Right on, Luca.
Thank you, man.
Happy New Year.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was great. Another person from Kingman. That was great. Anyway, so that's pretty much the idea we were talking about. What is your line in the sand, think about it. In Colorado, and I think also in Oregon, there are some laws that if you collect rainwater, you go to jail. Somebody went to jail. Let's see who is there. Hello, caller. Who is there?
Yes, hello, Goomba.
Goomba, where are you, Goomba?
I'm in Mojave Valley, Arizona.
Excellent. And what's your name?
My name is Roger, and I wanted to tell you I had the same problem with my zucchini last year.
Interesting. So it's not just me. Well,
no, it's not just you. And my line in the sand, I wanted to put it out fast because I know you have the end of your program, is do not tell law enforcement officers when they pull you over, like even when you're walking down the street, when they ask you for your cell phone number, because they're going to try to track you with GPS.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah.
Because, our camera phones and our little cell phones is our means of communication, and some of us, do not own firearms.
Yes.
Some of us use bow and arrows.
I agree. At least the point is the weapon is just a tool. Your brain is the first weapon.
And we don't want to use it against anyone innocent.
Exactly. I agree. I always believe that we must avoid any type of violence. Our goal is educating each other, creating education on large scale with the public opinion. We can solve this, hopefully, through the political system. At the same time,
we always reserve the right to protect ourselves and our family.
I agree. This is our duty. It is not just something...
So keep up the great work, and I want to put out a personal message to Dave Hayes.
Yes.
It's good that he's going to extend you 2 hours.
Yes.
And this is the type of programming we really would like to hear more of on KTOX.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
Why don't you send me an invitation? We become friends.
Okay, that would be great by me. And I caught something on Facebook. I guess you have a wife, and she posts some things on Facebook too.
No, but that's okay. Just send me the invitation. I will check it out.
Okay, thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye. Thank you. I'm excited. I like getting phone calls, because I like to know people. We can always learn so much from each other, I mean, not wrong at all. The guy is right, you don't want to give your cell phone information to anybody. And by the way, talking about communications, don't forget your cell phone can be turned off or on anytime they want on demand. This is proven. FBI prove it. And of course, their brain is also legal, according to the Patriot Act and the latest pieces of garbage legislation. But my personal friendly tip, it's called little walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie, you can get them on everywhere, Walmart, especially get the most powerful you can get, like the 36 miles. Line of sight, you can really reach long distance. And guess what? They cannot turn them off, and they're hard to control. So let's say if you have a situation at night, like we had, for example, in Golden Valley about a few weeks ago, when there was this sort of a national drill with helicopters and blackout in Phoenix. Well, we had our DOS also blackouts and choppers flying very low above our homes in some part of Golden Valley. The cell phone made no work. Walkie-talkie can always work. And you can create a great network between your family and neighbors to create some sort of 24/7 communication system. Because communication is the first weapon to defend yourself. If you cannot communicate, you cannot coordinate, you cannot see anything. We have a few more minutes. I would like to say, first of all, yes, I want to thank K-Talks because what I really like of this radio station is a community's radio station. That means is the voice of the people. We have different opinion, we have different type of people, and I know that my personality and my belief may be different from some of the other special hosts or whatever, even Dave. But we believe in First Amendment, and that's great. We respect each other. I always say, if you respect me, I respect you. Of course, I would like to also think that, besides respect, the problem is that I like people with different opinions. The only thing sometimes I'm concerned when your opinions trying to force on me to do two things: remove my rights and remove my money out of my pocket. So that's more than just opinions. That become like kind of, I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank Dave because he's been given an opportunity to be here, learn with you, and try to reach more people than I used to do before, when I used to just go around my neighborhood and friends talking about this thing. That's what I like to do, So anyway, talking about line in the sand, if you please can go also to my site, lovegunsfreedom.com, send me an email if you have any specific question for the next show. Next show, we're going to have Mr. State Senator Al Melvin, that is also running for Arizona governor. And he's going to be here, supposedly, in our radio and the station. And I'd like to, squeeze phone calls in. The problem is sometimes when we have 1 hour, it is difficult. So I would like to get your questions. And trust me, I'm going to, everything you say, if it's not cussing, I will put it out, okay? So the senator is called Al Melvin. He's a Republican, running for Arizona governor. Send me emails about questions that we can pretty much tell him, And the guy, I believe, has some good points. I think he has some good ideas. And but I don't agree, of course, with everything. But let's see where we're going there. All right, now we are getting almost at the end of the show. So what I would like to say is pretty much one update about a couple points that we have here. First of all, today we're supposed to have our special guest, Sheriff Mack, that is from Texas. I talked to him last night. I don't know, something must have happened, and I will follow up because I also posted on my website and also Facebook. We have Sheriff Mack. That, by the way, I think one of the best example that one person can make a difference. The guy, when he was sheriff for Graham County, he won a Supreme Court lawsuit against the federal government. They pretty much that ruled that the provision of the Brady Act was unconstitutional. And I would have, loved to discuss with him. I'm going to follow up with him to see what happened, because maybe I know that the guy is very serious. I met him in person. Something much serious must happen, but I will contact with him, and if I have to reschedule, I will reschedule the interview. So right now, guys, what I want to say is The line in the sand, is mindset. It's not about weapons, it's about your brain, your will to survive, your will to be a free man. Because the weapon is just a tool. The weapon is just extension of your will. I don't care if you got stick, if you got a bow and arrows, or if you have the latest rifle. First of all, if you don't have mindset, it's useless. You must have will, and then you must have training. And we will talk also about that in the next few shows. Because our goal is to help each other to train, to be safe, to be law-abiding Americans, that we believe in the right of self-defense, not just against the regular scumbags, but also we are the last line of defense against a tyrannical government, because that was the purpose of the Second Amendment. So that's pretty much the goal. For example, we'll start to talk about a group that I'm launching out there every Sunday in the morning, or every time we can, or I can. I would like to go to the range. It's called the Mojave County Rifleman Fellowship. And I would like to share each other, help each other to shoot together like a real rifleman. That means no benches, but we will try to get everybody on the same page as safety and, more important, as the standard of a rifleman. That means we want to shoot the rifleman quarter mile. That means at 500 yards, we want to keep our group within 20 inches. And to be more technical, we want to shoot at 4 minutes of angle with the iron sight. Guess what? The first time somebody told me that, I said, you must be kidding me. And guess what? It can be done. If somebody like me with an accent coming from Italy able to succeed in that field, I think it's a great skill. First of all, it's a great opportunity to bond together, have fun, but more important, to learn one of the most important skills. According to, after the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, I think it's there for that reason, to preserve the other rights. So please, if you want to join me, this is the way I like to, share my wealth. Like somebody trying to say out there in the federal government, we must share our wealth. I think the wealth of information, education, and the skills to become riflemen, that's something that's more important. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned. LoveGunsFreedom.com. This was Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340. Ciao.